Now, the Special Advisor, Office of Climate Change and Circular Economy to the Lagos State Governor, Mrs Titilayo Oshodi, has said that Eco-Nexus initiative will help integrate circular economic practices, address waste management, reduce pollution, and create new job opportunities in the state. Speaking at the launch of the initiative, Mrs Oshodi disclosed that the purpose-driven initiative has demonstrated how the circular economy would support environmental sustainability. She says the ultimate aim is to catalyze connections across sectors while aligning public policies with private sector innovation. On his part, Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Mr. George, says the platform is designed to streamline circular economic efforts, eliminate redundancies, and establish a coordinated system for resource management and waste recovery.
An event that marks a pivotal moment in our journey towards building a dynamic green economy for Lagos. Today, we gather leaders from across sectors to foster a culture of collaboration, synergy, and co-creation. Together, we can unlock the tremendous potential of sustainable practices, innovation, and public-private partnerships. We're not just here to talk about ideas. We're here to spark action. This is not just about looking good, it's about making a positive impact on our planet. Eco-fashion challenges us to rethink our consumption patterns and shows us that fashion can be a force for good. It's particularly empowering for women and youth who are at the forefront of this exciting change.
We also realize that we live in a world where climate change is real, and we have to ensure that we balance the realities of that with also the economic realities. So once we are, and we also don't come up with policies where we just say we're going to do something overnight. There's a process, there's consultation, we speak to people, and we go through a process to ensure that it's done over time and it's phased out over time. So as with everything, there is a process, there's consultation, and it's something that we'll go through the steps, and we ensure that at any point in time we'll meet our citizens at the point where they need to be able to understand what needs to be done, and also factor in the fact that we also ensure that we look after the economy and we look after the climate.
With me live on the show is no other person than the Special Advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Climate Change and, of course, Circular Economy, Mrs. Titilayo Oshodi. It is good to see you again after a while.
Good to see you too.
How's it going? A lot of work going on in your space. The latest is Eco-Nexus. Take us through what you've been doing in recent times before you got to this point again.
What we've been doing before we got to this point.
Yes, a lot has been happening, I know.
Well, we've been fostering a lot of show and tell, amongst our communities. Because we understand that this is a new terrain, it's an uncharted path.
It is.
And we feel that a lot of people are still not yet connected because the knowledge, there's a knowledge debt, and it's important that we begin to communicate in every way. One of the ways that we feel that we can do it is through an experiential, path. And that's why we've chosen, rather than, go to places and just activate by, speaking English, it's essentially for them to see firsthand what is possible, what is capable, and what is obtainable, And so we have piloted 2, 3, 4 places, in area of building competences, in the area of transforming waste into something that is more tangible, more substantial, and also sort of demonstrate how people can see the area of circular economy as a way to be more employable, or to generate funds, or to generate revenue, or for businesses who can either decide they want to diversify or they want to scale up, in their businesses. So our enterprises, which we're, purposefully cultivating, is also part of the needs and the criteria or the rationale or the basis for what it is that we're doing, because we understand also that our businesses are at the they're at the forefront of us driving this economic empowerment. For the fact that we cannot demystify the economic argument for our communities, for our people, and even for businesses as well. There's just so much that government can do. But if we tie in the marriage, a good marriage between the people, between the businesses and the government, then we will be having something that will be a bit more substantial.
So are we moving, we're talking about public-private partnership here to also drive the circular economy. Is that where we are headed?
That is definitely where we are. If you have studied the trajectory of events or project initiatives under the administration of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, you would know that that has always underscored, that model has always underscored a lot of the outputs and the results that we have thus far with initiatives. There's so many things within different sectors that has been developed under, the basis of PPP. So it's got to be that way.
So focusing on this Eco-Nexus, which is supposed to reduce waste pollution and all of that, can you shed more light on this, and how are you helping to integrate circular economic practices across the board?
So Eco-Nexus is essentially a platform. It's just a business platform where we are cultivating and we are creating a synergy between the public policy and the private sector innovators. We have strategically addressed some sectors that are huge on waste management, that are huge, big on green energy and technology and innovation. So we have people from the banking sector, we have people from the manufacturing, we have people from the transport sector, we have people from energy, and just also ensuring that from a backward integration perspective, that these corporations are beginning to look at where they can have sustainability units, so that from incept, they are able to infuse the components of sustainability, they're able to infuse the components of resource management, they're able to infuse the anecdotes of low carbon emission, green energy, sustainable infrastructure, in various, in their ways, in their processes, and in their systems. So Eco-Nexus presents that opportunity for us to co-create, for us to collaborate and partner, and also just sort of establish, how we're going to start recreating policies, fiscal policies, monetary policies, even fiduciary processes that can help us to, develop competences that can drive the sort of learnings that is needed. Remember again that the last time I came, I was saying that, most of the things that we're doing is driven towards unlocking potentials for job opportunities, unlocking potentials for businesses to be able to expand, and also drive, climate education, climate knowledge, and how it impacts our lives and how it touches on every node and aspect of our lives. So these sectors also form, a basis for how we can drive the nuance, drive the learning, but also most importantly, help people to understand where the budget is and where their monies can be gotten from.
Interesting. We are aligning public policy now with private sector innovation and all of that. But reusing, recycling, and all of that, how well is that message penetrating into, let me say, Lagos itself? How are you getting along? How receptive are Lagosians to this? Naira and Kobo, because Nigerians are always interested in that. Tell us about it.
The recycling landscape is budding, is burgeoning. The reason why I say that is because right about now, PET bottles, a lot of people already know what value is placed on PET bottles. You will find that even at parties, at events, you will just be finding people just picking up their bottles and packing, But PET bottles are not the only components of waste in Lagos as a cosmopolitan city. And I dare say for any other city as it may be, there is e-waste, there is textile, there is cardboard, there is can, right? And if we're, already building the landscape for PET bottle, then that means that there are economic opportunities in the other areas, in the other categories of waste. So these are some of the things that we want our businesses, our corporations, the private sector to begin to look at, because, the partnership that we're driving, the partnership that we're trying to foster is for them to be able to see the socioeconomic landscape, be able to see the generation, from different communities in different areas. We have data, we have the sort of data that we have drawn from some of the pilots that we ran. And for instance, with Badagry, we were able to see that, there's a certain prevailing type of waste that comes from there. as a coastal and as a terrestrial land, you know, and also just seeing that what sort of burgeoning community or demographic is prevalent in that place. There are lots of schools, so we have a lot of young demographics. We have, because of the coastal area, we have a lot of fishermen, and we have people who depend on their sustainability by virtue of the waterways, right? And then we also have, you know, the prevailing occupation. There are a lot of teachers. So what we're saying that, you know, we can develop solutions, and those solutions will speak to different sectors within the economy. And it also means that, you know, the MSMEs, the enterprises that can work in those spaces have to be those who are also interconnected, who are connected to that type of waste. Waste management, green energy, technology innovation, they have to start being green right now. That's the only way that we can establish a long-lasting solution that can go from generation to generation. And all of the sectors that are, you know, within Lagos economy are also, you know, pivotal in establishing the components of sustainability. And that's, I think, that's the reason why we are even seated, you know, within the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, because from a budgetary allocation, from a budgetary perspective, we're able to look at, you know, how these funds can be generated, how they can be mapped, how they can be evaluated and monitored, and how we can ensure that there is appropriation in the right places. Even now, we're beginning to talk about having a green wallet, you know, a green line, such that when we're looking at projects, you know, that line, that budget line, presents the indicators that are necessary for us to be able to say that we are cutting off those indices, we are taking off those indices, you know, for us to be able to establish the commerce and the regenerative finance of any project as it were. So Lagos is doing quite a bit, even establishing that enlightenment, targeting the various cadres of target audience, you know, our children that are in school, our young ones that are in the university, our businesses, you know, so that they can begin to understand the language of sustainability, and they can also understand the language of circular economy, you know, and that they can also help, you know, the communities, the households, to jump on that wagon and be able to drive it for optimization.
Interesting stuff. Now, let's talk about more initiatives and policies that you think can drive or support the circular economy. What are your plans? This Eco-Nexus, what are expectations from the initiative? I know you like to talk about that. Let's know that, and let's also talk about other policies that can help drive the circular economy.
One of the things that we want to establish through the private sector is the ESG compliance framework. And, you know, you and I know that we need to promote a level of consensus and self-regulated sustainability practices. So if our businesses and our private sector are very amenable to their environmental impact, their social impact, their economic impact, and they are driving those tenets through their outputs, through their manufacturing process, through their products and their services. What it means is that it cascades into the lifestyle of the everyday person. So we want to ensure that we're driving those, you know, tenets of ESG, because it touches on various, you know, sustainable development goals, which affect, you know, there are areas of education, there are areas of nutrition, there are areas of, you know, well-being, there are areas of partnership and collaboration, there are areas, those social areas, you know, social cultural areas are very, very critical, you know, for the development and the well-being of our everyday people, of the people in the community. We also do not want it to be business as usual anymore. We're trying to, you know, overcome the inertia of, you know, business as usual, because there's this culture of convenience with the way we do things. And, you know, you and I also agree, you have talked about it, that we need to start to infuse the atom of benefits. And benefit comes with rewards. Our reward is an incentive, you know, for people to do better. And, you know, for people who already are climate conscious, who are already in the knowledge of, you know, how they manage their waste, do we reward them? we need to start thinking about that. We need to start talking about that. And also those that we want them to transcend, we want them to transition into the right way of doing things.
Really, it is
how
transition,
can we incentivize?
transition.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
Because it's a mindset.
Yes, it is.
It's more behavioral.
Yes.
How can we make that extra work that they're going to do? Because it is work. I personally will, in my kitchen, I sort my PET bottle. I sort my organic waste right now. I've been taught how to cultivate, fertilizer with my organic waste because I'm cultivating a small garden.
Yes.
Do you understand? So all of those things, it takes time.
Yeah, it does.
It takes, a concerted effort to do that. So if at the tail end of it, people have to see that there's something that I'm working towards, and there's something that I'm going to benefit from it. Even if it is to do it for a sound health, to be able to have a clean environment around me, and still be able to get some value, and more, that I'm even able to exchange it if I go to a free market basis. There are enterprises within my space that are actually trading. They're into commercial activities on this items that I'm typically generating that I want to throw away. So what more? But where the gap is that we need to get the word out to our people as deep and as far as possible.
Interesting conversation. I know we could take the whole time today to talk about this. We're talking about circular economy. I know. But what more? Let's just wrap up now. We have like 1-2 minutes to go with this. What more would you like Lagosians to know?
I want Lagosians to know that there's so much out there to do, especially for our young ones, that, we need to start, taking more time to research about circular economy. The opportunities are there. The government is, beginning to divert budget into those spaces, even from the national to the subnational.
I guess also your last event in Badagry.
Yes, absolutely. So there are opportunities for collection. Every location that we have activated have steaming opportunities, for collection. Right about now, with what the government is doing, right, we haven't even optimized waste collection. We're not up to 10% of optimization on waste collection. So if anybody says, oh, we have enough PSP, no, we do not have enough PSP. Do we have enough collection centers? No, we do not have.
Businesses are still going
there are opportunities, within households, and how vast and diverse and wide, Lagos State is, into the crannies, into the interlands. There's so many opportunities. There are areas that the PSPs have not even been able to reach because of the, the level of intricateness and the depth, of those places. So there is opportunity in circular economy. There's opportunity in textile. There's opportunity in pets, bottle, even though that is still, burgeoning and it's still about 50 to 60%. There's opportunity in cans. There's opportunity in e-waste, derelict equipments and vehicles. There's so many opportunities. And more importantly, that the businesses that are doing it also have the ability to scale. The global north is, essentially waiting on us for us to get this market, to stimulate it and have it as proliferated as possible. And it's important that we are equipped with the information, we're equipped with the technical know-how, we're equipped also with the innovation that is required for us to make this, another revolution in our society.
Well, brilliant conversation as usual. I've been speaking to the special advisor to the Lagos Governor on climate change and circular economy, Mrs. Titilayo Oshodi. Hope to see you again soon.
Yes.
We'll have a chat, of
Just
course.
call on us.
All right.
We'll be here.
I know you'll be. Thank you so much. Now.